Hi everybody. The story I chose for my emergent literacy project was The Very Busy Spider by Eric Carle. This is one of my favorite books. Eric Carle's one of my favorite authors. And so if you don't know the story, it's the story of a spider who's very busy spinning her web, and different animals come and try to talk to her and get her to do things and play with them. But she doesn't answer every time. She doesn't answer because she's very busy spinning her web. And at the end, a rooster tries to get her to catch a fly, and she catches the fly. And then a owl comes and asks, who built this beautiful web? And the spider doesn't answer because she's fallen asleep because it was a very, very busy day. So that's the plot of the story. And some places I would stop during the story and things I would point out to the children is, this is the first page. The spider lands on a post in a farmyard. So I would say like, oh look, there's the spider. You know, she landed in the place where she's gonna make her web, and you can see the silky thread coming from her body. What's cool about this book, you can't tell by looking at it, but the spider web is actually raised, so as it grows, you can feel it, and at the end, it's really big and you can feel it. So that's something cool too, that the kids could feel the book, maybe. And after I read the story, I would put it in the library area too, so they could experience that. And then, you know, I would try to read each animal in a different voice and the sounds that they make, you know, like the horse says neigh. And then I would ask the question like the horse says, want to go for a ride? And then I would pause, and then I would say, the spider didn't answer. And then I would pause and say, she was very busy spinning her web. So that's on every page. That's the repetitive part. See, then the cow asked a question. Moo moo, said the cow. Want to eat some grass? The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. So that's the pattern. It's going to keep repeating different animals, and the spider never answers because she's very busy spinning her web. So that's the book. And then the things that I created to retell the story is, I made the characters from the story on popsicle sticks. So I would talk about the book with the children. You know, we read a story today about a spider that was very busy, and I would ask questions like, what was she doing? And hopefully the children would say, building her web. And I would ask them if they want to retell the story with me, if they want to help me tell the story. And I would say, what character was first in the story? And you know, if they say the spider, I would say, who wants to be the spider? And I would give each one of these to a child, like, you know, who wants to be the doggy? Who wants to be the horse? You know, and they would each have theirs. And then who would like to hold the web? And these are all the animals. But then there's one somewhere here. Oh yeah, you know, who wants to be the fly? And so they would each have one. And then we would retell the story like, you know, first, you know, I would let the children tell it, and I would just guide them by answering questions or giving hints where needed. But I would really want to observe how much of the story they could remember and what they could retell, the vocabulary words they would use from the story. Like, hopefully they might say, you know, spinning her web. So I would observe that, and I would help them along in retelling the story. But there's a spider, and then the spider came first, and she started making her web. And then a horse came along and said, you know, neigh, do you want to go for a ride with me? And they may not remember all that, but maybe they'll say, the horse said neigh and asked the spider to play. But the person that has a spider could say, you know, maybe they might say, I'm busy building my web, or they would just not answer, you know. And then the web, someone could hold up, who had the web, hold up the web. And then the next one, you know, maybe they just say, woof, said the dog. Or maybe they just say, I'm a doggy, you know, but they would tell the story, each little animal. So then there's a cow, and a pig, all the different animals that came. There's like 10 animals in the story. Sheep and a goat. They're sticking to these. And a cat. A cute little cat. And the last, and one of the last animals that comes is the rooster. And the rooster is the one that says, "Do you want to help me catch a pesky fly?" But the spider doesn't answer. But then, whoever has the fly, whoever has the spider can catch the fly. And the spider can put the fly in her web. You know, so the children could work together too. And the spider's in the web. And then the owl comes and says, "Who made this beautiful web?" You know, but the spider doesn't answer because now she fell asleep. You know, however they pretend for the spider to fall asleep. And retell the story that way in a small group at circle time with the popsicle sticks, so that would be fun. And then the sentence framing I did for the sentence strips. I'll show you guys that, how I made those and what I did. So I put these over here on the wall and I simplified it. I didn't say, Yvonne's working the camera again. I feel like you're too close, Yvonne. No. Okay, so I didn't put the whole thing out. I simplified it, and instead of putting the question each animal asked, I just said the noise that they made to make it simpler and show, you know, each animal. And I didn't do all the animals. I did, I think, 5 out of the 10, just to simplify it down, you know, instead of telling the whole story. So the first one says, "Oink," said the pig, and then the spider didn't answer. She was busy spinning her web. So here, this was a long sentence, and even though I think Very is really cute in the story and important and the title of the book, I actually took Very out because I wanted to shorten this, but I wanted to keep spinning because I thought, you know, that's a bigger vocabulary word that I would like them to learn. So I left that in there, and that, you know, tells what she's doing. She's busy and she's spinning her web. So I kept that. So these would stay each time. And then the next one would be, you know, next we would say, oops, Wolf barked the dog. The spider didn't answer. She was busy spinning her web. And then the next one would be Yvonne's favorite animal, right? Yvonne's cat. Hopefully they stay. So Meow, said the cat. The spider didn't answer. She was busy spinning her web. So every time it's going to repeat that pattern. And then Quack called the duck. The spider didn't answer. She was busy spinning her web. And then the last two. So then I picked the last animal that comes to the spider. And he doesn't want to play with her, but he sees the beautiful web and he asks the question, "Who?" asked the owl. The spider didn't answer. And then this one I would change because this is the end of the story. She had fallen asleep. And then there's a sleeping spider. So that's the sentence strips telling the story. These two would stay the same throughout, and the animals would change, and then at the very end, this one would change because that's the ending to the story. Okay.